I've recently had my roof replaced, and we have a antenna that we get local television stations with, and I really don't want to put the antenna mast back up on the roof just because I don't want any screws going through the new shingles and potentially creating a leak. So we're going to take this antenna and put it in a new mounting location, and that is going to be right up there at that peak. So what I'm going to do is do some quick measurements. This is a 612 pitch roof, and I'm going to show you how to make a mount that holds your antenna in that location out of PVC. So remember, we had a 612 pitch on the roof, so what I'm going to do here is use my seam in my garage floor to mock this up. And I know that I want the upper portion of my antenna mast holding post to be about 18 inches. Knowing that we have a 612 pitch, let's take that to 4 feet. So in that case, what we want to do is we're going to make sure we don't necessarily have to make this shorter, just where it's going to mount is going to be different. So then we're going to go to 12 inches. So that gives us 2 feet over here and 2 feet over there. I'm still going to cut this 18 inches, but I'm only going to cut this guy 4 feet. Then we'll go from there. So we're in the messy shop now, and I've marked my PVC at 48 inches here, and I'm going to cut that with a hacksaw. Now we have a 4-foot section of PVC. And this here is going to be our main support. This is 1.5 inch Schedule 40, so that's what our base will be. Now, what I need to do here is find the exact center of this. So I'm going to measure out my distance just to double check that it is indeed 48 inches, and it is. Okay, so I'm going to mark a spot at 2 feet, which is directly in the center. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece of Schedule 40 1.25 inch pipe, and I'm going to take this diameter here, and I'm going to cut a hole that's tight to this diameter right here. Since I want this assembly to be pretty rigid, what I'm going to do is use a step drill. And this step drill actually ends at 1 3/8 inches. And I'm going to drill into this pipe center line best I can and leave extra diameter here. And then we're going to heat this up and press the other pipe through it. And what that'll allow us to do is get a really, really tight fit with some extra material that goes into here. And I can put some PVC glue on there to create a rigid assembly. Now we have that set up. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I just do this with a heat gun. I've had a couple other videos where I showed heating up PVC, and I really like this method of forming it. It provides a lot of benefits compared to other things. So what we'll do here is get my little heat gun rolling. Well, let's see if that's enough. There we go. I'm also going to rough up this PVC. This is going to be painted just so it's not an eyesore on the house, a big old white blob up there, so it's actually going to be painted to mount my trim. So you'll notice there's actually a little bow in here. And I'm actually not concerned about that, because once we have the weight of the antenna above it, eventually this thing's going to want to sag. And as it sags, this hole here is going to collapse onto this center pipe, and then that's going to force this to expand back to basically flat here. So I'm going to get to making some holes on the outer edge. So you can see here, I use a step drill and drill the hole 1.5 inches in. I'm also going to take here, like I said, I'm going to put a stainless screw right here in the center. So I pre-drill that, and a stainless steel screw will go in here. I'm up on the top of the roof here, and what I've done is just kind of centered this via eyeball. I made a couple marks, and that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to drill 2 holes here and get some lag bolts put in there. So now I've got this bracket here, and that's holding this assembly up, and it's mocked up, and what I've been able to do is level it out. But you can see right here there's a little lip on the flashing for the roof drip edge, and that causes this to stand off. So what I'm going to do is make sure I get like a 3/4 inch piece of plywood and actually put it in here, as well as down on each one of these sides, and that's going to allow me to bolt through it here and over here, because right now this top part here has to stand off further than the bottom here, and it can't be perfectly level. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this thing up right away, and I'll get in a little closer to show you some details. And here you kind of see how I set it up. So we've got the pipe bracket up here, the plate behind it, that's a cedar, piece of cedar so it doesn't rot, and then just 2 bolts on either side with some cedar discs cut out behind that. And I had, from my previous installation, I had quite a bit of wire. I left that, and that allows me to move it up and down. So what you can do is actually adjust this, just drill some more holes in here depending on what height you want. This height here stops the antenna post from going down any further, and that gets my antenna line of reception just over the roof of my house. So that's it. Pretty simple. It very, very cheap, and you can make it in just an hour or 2 really. Longest thing is wait for the paint to dry. So hope this helps, and good luck. If you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.